Greetings and welcome to Unlocking the Matrix 26. Now, a big question. Well, before we even get to the question, I'm sure you have all heard the phrase wake up. Well, that is exactly what it is. And I'm going to explain why. We are all in basically hamster balls. There is a new theory called concave Earth. It's a half-truth, like everything else, because you are, like in the film The Matrix, you are in an egg and you do have 12 pipes in your back going all the way down your spine. When you disconnect from the Matrix, it is just like in a film. You pull these pipes out and you see what really is. What you've got here is a projection. Now, you'll find this with even close members of your family. And you think, for fuck's sake, why won't they wake up? Because just like the Cyberdyne system in Terminator and all these other movies, the AI has a built-in defense mechanism if it feels it's being attacked. So it will program the real people who are locked in to this matrix with these pipes, and it will block parts of the CPU. So they won't understand it because they don't want them unlocking from it because they're a food source. You think that marine life is said to be full of plastics. Now, what about us? When I say what about us, I mean what about the US Marines who come in on a Hercules military jet, and then you have all the funeral ceremony. Ceremony. Do you think they're in that box? Or do you think it's stuffed like sardines, which is pumped full of opium that's coming from Afghanistan, pumped full of parts of children? Yeah, it's pretty depraved. I'm not pulling any punches on this. And it's all wrapped in oil and with a nice coating of stripes and stars. John West. Anyway, 8 pints of blood takes a lot to make a Red Sea, wouldn't you say? But Cyberdyne system, CYB, you see why it has to be that way. Siba Ray. And you've got clones going round, because that's exactly what you're seeing. You're seeing projections of real people. This is why they don't seem to care, because the parts of the CPU are being switched off. So no, they won't see it. You're not going to wake them up. We're wasting the time in many ways. But people are starting to wake up in larger numbers. They are seeing parts of it, if not all of it. So it's a good start. And you've still got to do the detoxing of metals in your body. That's very important to do. Because you want to get through this, then that's what you have to do. You only get one chance every 25,920 years, otherwise you go round and round again. Potentially 216 reincarnations. 216 is after 432, the perfect pitch. Otherwise it hurts the ears. You got to mention in Revelations, and it is a revelation. It says about the beast will rule for 42 months. Well, when was Trump's inauguration? 2016. That's going to take us to next April. He's a tourist anyway. They go a step too far by that stage. And the empire that trumps all previous empires will collapse. That is your chief demon right there. It was Adolf Hitler before that. the demon jumped shells, because the suit that was Adolf Hitler, it did exactly what it was meant to do. It divided and annihilated the centre of Europe. They'd already done the Romanov Empire in the Rus that was left of Tartaria, which became Russia. So it's a progressive step. British Empire served its use. It's now a commonwealth. Oh, yeah, still in charge of everything. They just haven't got the military and the public presence anymore, but it's still going on. Well, who do you think runs the diamond mines in South Africa? That was part of the empire at one time, but it's now a republic. Is it hell? It's still owned and controlled by the same group, same banking dynasties. And they're pulling all the strings because they hold all the financial control over everything, create these artificial wars. So Hitler did exactly what he was meant to do. He destroyed the centre of Europe. He interfered with every design. Well, I mean, why do you want bombing capability on an interceptor jet you could have got in production to turn the events of the war? Why wasn't he launching V2 rockets at factories in Russia? But no, he's going for civilian targets in East London with them. That's a huge advantage over an enemy when you're outnumbered 12-1, because that war was just to decimate and cull numbers of people and destroy the Tartarian architecture in places like Dresden, the giveaways that would say, hang on, something's not right here. You start seeing it with his architecture and this antiquitech. You can't miss it. I'm going to be making another video on this, looking at tiny little details on buildings that show it. Those balls on the tops of buildings, they are glow balls, because they do glow. That's where the idea of global technology comes from. The thing to remember with this, all of this, the dark side cannot create apart from destruction. All they can do is manipulate and twist existing ideas. So they use the words, reuse these physical bodies in this reality as a food source. Children are the future. D and T are interchangeable in German, in the germ man. There's always insulting terms and labels are applied to us. In the English, the angle leash, the angel leash. And we all languish in these phonetic speaking languages because we're talking or having to use this imposed language upon us. So we have to work with what we've got. And it's down to letter shapes. I mean, most of you probably won't realise that Satan is represented by the letter T, the capital T. The pole, the upright part of the T, is your spine, your tree of life, representing your soul. Now, it's supposed to be ascending, but something gets in the way and stops it and caps it off. That's why it's the letter T, the T-Rex, the terrible lizard, the T-Rump. Trump Towers, TT. So some of you aren't going to like that. Well, tough. You think he's some sort of second coming. Well, just watch what happens. That's all I say to that. For the rest of you, I can sure you can see from his track record already, he is not what he pertains to be. They made a big thing about it and they actually told the truth in a very roundabout way in the media when Trump came over to visit the Queen. She's only the Queen of the hive. In the hierarchical sense, he's higher up. He's the chief demon. So yeah, that's why he walked in front. They're showing you right there in all the media. And they're analysing and going into little details. And it's funny how they won't do, journalism doesn't do that with anything else. But then when you consider that it's corporate media anyway, and it is all controlled. Social media is a mixture. But in everything, there is always a half-truth because they have to use it as a basis. So you can't write everything off. It's like all these false flag shootings. Not all of them are false flags. There are real deaths in this reality. You think about this. When you dream, you could have a nightmare. When you jolt out of that dream, your heart is pounding, you're sweating. That feels very real because it is very real. Because that's actually when you're awake. This is when you're asleep. When those that are unplugging and disconnecting from this matrix and seeing things as the way they really are screaming, wake up. Now, part of this program to stop this is to put obstacles in your way. So this is why you get narcissists, because they're energy vampires. They're going to leave you feeling drained, and they'll be thrown into your lives, even in close family members, to stop you from waking other people up. They don't want people disconnecting. You're disconnecting their food source. You're taking their meal away from them. It's energy. In this reality, you are recycled. The human body is way too toxic. It would be a disaster for the ecosystem. They're already pumped the bodies full of crap anyway. So they don't really want it going in the ground. But you make a nice chicken burger. You make nice cement. You'll make nice mortar. You will become a pillar of the community. You can go out and paint the town red, quite literally. They do. That's why you've got blood red bricks as well. I mentioned this previously. And thank you to Martin Liedke of Flat Earth British for bringing that one to the forefront. I'll refer you back to that last video with the patent number, US 423-476A, I think it is. And it talks about the use of human blood in aggregates for building. So it's right there. It's not a conspiracy theory, it's a conspiracy fact. Like everything else, read the bloody labels on the inserts. If you don't know what a word is, look it up on the internet. Don't look at one source as well, look at several. Medications and everything. If you don't know what the things mean, look them up. They don't hide these things, they are in plain sight. They're right in your clock face. Because you're being whored out in hours of Horus. You're selling your mind, you're selling your body. You're working. You're getting paid maybe minimum wage just for your mind, or you're being paid a minimum wage per Horus per hour for your physical body to do a physical job. Or if you want to go right down to the base level, you can prostitute yourself out for sex to earn money. It's all one form or another of prostitution. That is your workship, your worthship, your worship. The words are all there. You're in a citizenship. It's all held together by maritime law. So, Marines. There's not US Marines coming back in boxes at all on Hercules bombers, is it? Sardines and tuna, stuffed full of opium. Child trafficking. It's all coming through that way. Right under your noses. All dressed up in stripes and stars. Or in a union. An union, your eon. That's why a union is spelt like an onion. You just got to take those layers off and see it for what it really is. Gruesome, isn't it? But need to just unplug, flick the switch on the matrix, reset the computer. This can be a very beautiful world. You can see it in nature. You can see exactly how it can be. You can make it like that if we reset it. It's quite simple, really. Let's make the reset that we want, not the reset the evil side wants. They're going to be reset anyway. Source is a child, and like any child, it grows out of certain toys, and it will discard them. Oh, the dark side are shitting themselves. They know their time is up, because it is all controlled and governed by time. Ingersoll, watchmaker, lock wood, locking time as opposed to Hollywood illusion. So Trump is the last president. So there's another good bit of good news, and quite a happy note to end this one on. Thank you very much.